Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hello and welcome to today's class. My name's Danny and I will be your instructor for today. This is the Shoulders Beginners class. It's made for people who have shoulder pain and haven't got any experience of doing shoulder-based exercises. We're going to be targeting all of the muscles in and around the shoulder and some into the upper back as well. We're aiming to improve strength, flexibility, coordination, things like that around the shoulder. All of the equipment that you will need for today's class will be shown on screen. So all you need to do is grab a drink and then we will get started with our warm-up. Let's get started with our warm-up then. So with this warm-up, we're aiming to increase our heart rate, activate the muscles, increase mobility, all ready for our exercise class that's coming up. So we're going to start off nice and simple with just some marching on the spot. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. Do it at your own pace, whether you want to go nice and slow or quite fast, completely up to you. Fab, let's get going for 1 minute then. Make sure we're swinging those arms, lifting the feet nice and high whilst we're marching. Remember, we're working to increase that heart rate. So just taking it at your own pace. That's great, keep swinging those arms, lifting those knees nice and high. And we are nearly halfway there. Great. Again, taking it at your own pace, just as we start the warm-up. Okay, 10 more seconds. Great, and bring that down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do some jogging on the spot this time. We're only going to go for 30 seconds this time. Again, doing it at your own pace. Just make sure that you've got a nice, safe environment around you. Okay, when we're ready, off we go. Again, make sure we're moving those arms and lifting those feet nice and high off the floor. That's it, halfway there. Good, 5 seconds left. And bring it down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to do some hip circles. So for this one, I want your feet sort of shoulder width apart on the floor and the hands just resting on your hips. We're going to start off with very small circles. So we're going to sort of push the hips to one side, bring them round to the front and round to the back. Again, just do them at your own pace, and also with the circle, just make it as small or as big as you can, depending on how you're feeling. We're going to go for 30 seconds. When we're ready, off we go. That's it. So just make sure we're concentrating on really pushing those hips all the way around the movement. That's good. Because we're coming up to halfway, we're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. Again, like I said, if you need to do small circles with how you're feeling at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Or nice and big circles, doesn't matter. Great, and come to a stop. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to go into doing some leg swings. For this one, I'm going to do it just freestanding, but if you need to, you can hold onto a wall, hold onto the back of a chair, whichever works best for you. We're going to start off with our right leg. So again, like I said, holding onto something for stability if needs be. We're going to go for 30 seconds. We're just going to lift the leg out in front of us and then slowly lift behind. Okay, off we go. So just swinging that leg at your own pace. Like I said, if you need to hold on to something, then that's absolutely fine. Good. That's great. Keeping the knee nice and straight and just swinging back and forwards. That's it. We've got 5 seconds left on this leg and then we'll switch over. Great. Okay. So if you need to swing the chair around to the other side or reposition yourself so that you can hold onto the wall the opposite way, that's fine. And then we'll go for 30 seconds again. So on the left leg this time, swinging back and forth. That's great. Again, just doing it at your own pace, lifting the leg in a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left on this leg. Great, and come to a stop, just back into our resting position. So the next activity that we're going to do is going to be with our arms. We're going to go for some arm circles. So what we'll do, we'll start off with our right arm because we started with our right leg. We'll pop our hand out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some circles, just going backwards like this. If you need to do the circles nice and small, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you can, then we're going to do nice big circles with the arm. Again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. That's it. Like I said, make sure we're doing this one in a comfortable range of movement. It can be as small or as big as you need at the moment. That's great. We've done 15 seconds on this arm. That's great. Last 5 seconds. Brilliant, okay. And this time we're going to do the exact same on the left arm. So again, arm out to the side. You can do small circles if you need to. Obviously big ones if you can as well. Off we go, 30 seconds on this one. That's great. Again, just going at the speed that sort of works for you at the moment. If you need to move nice and slowly through this movement, that's fine. Obviously if you can, then obviously we'll go a bit quicker. That's great, and just 5 more seconds. Perfect, okay. Last exercise of our warm-up, we're going to do some movements with our spine. So we're going to work in 4 different directions. We're going to go for a forward movement, a backwards movement, and then side to side as well. So what I'll do first is I'll show you what we're going to do, and then I'll explain how many we're going to do after that. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. For the forwards movement, I'd like you to have your hands resting on the front of your legs. And then what I want you to do nice and slowly is just come down as far as you can until you start to feel that bit of a stretch in the lower back, and then return up to your neutral position. Then we'll go for the opposite. So this time I'll turn to the side to show you, you're going to lean backwards. Again, just a gentle movement, and back up to the neutral position. Then hands down by our sides. Doesn't matter which side you do first, but you're going to bend over to the side, back up, and over to the other side. We're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just going as far as you can. Okay, we'll do them all together. So if we start at the front, we're going to come down, just go as far as you can, and then back up to that neutral position. Then we're going to lean back, again to the neutral position, hands down by our sides, drop one hand down the side of the leg, back up, and then over to the side. So that's 1 repetition. So now we'll go for our second. So again, we're going to come back down the front, nice and slowly and controlled. And then this time lean backwards. That's great. And then down to one side, back up and over into the other direction. Brilliant. On to number 3. So back to the front, and then down as far as you can, and back up, and then leaning back and back into that neutral position. Hands down by our sides, and we'll go over to one side and back up, then over to the other side and back up. And now for number 4, back to the front, leaning forwards and back up. Hands on our hips, and we'll lean backwards, back to our neutral position, and down to one side, and back over to the other direction. Brilliant. Last one now, hands back on the front. We're going to lean down as far as we can, back up to the middle, hands on our hips, and lean back to the middle, and then this time we'll drop down one side, back up, and then down to the other side. Okay, that completes our warm-up. So if you want to go and grab a bottle of water ready for our exercise class, and we'll get started. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be doing a lateral raise. So we're going to stay standing for this one. We're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, hands resting down by our sides. I want you to really focus on this exercise about keeping the shoulders down and squeezing them back as much as you can. And then from here, keeping the arms straight, we're just going to lift out to a 90-degree angle and back down. Nice and controlled. We're not swinging the arms. We're doing it nice and slowly. Up and back down. We're going to do 10 repetitions. We'll have a quick break and then we'll come back and do 10 more. Okay? So hands down by our sides and off we go. Lift to about 90 degrees and come back down. And lift and slowly back down. Don't worry if you can't get to 90 degrees, just go as far as you can with this one. Lifting the arms and slowly lowering them back down. Make sure we keep breathing nice and steady and keeping those shoulders down. Okay, 5 more. And back down. Like we said, just going as far as you can, bringing the arms back into center and back up. Okay, 2 more. Out. And last one, so bring them out, squeeze those shoulders at the top and back down and relax. Okay, we're going to take 20 seconds, have a quick break, and then we'll come back and do 10 more. Okay, back for our second set then. So again, feet shoulder width apart, hands down by the side, and off we go nice and slowly. Lift up to 90 degrees if you can. If not, just go as far as possible. And we're going for 10 more. That's great. Keep those shoulders down. Try not to hunch them as we go up. Good, nice and slow and controlled. Okay, 5 more. Just lifting those arms as much as you can. Remember, if you can't get to 90 degrees, don't worry. We're wanting to work in a pain-free range of movement. And last one. Squeeze those shoulders up at the top and then lower back down slowly. Okay, well done. So that's it for this exercise. We're going to have a 20-second break. Grab a drink of water if you need one, and then we will come back for the next exercise. Okay, this exercise is called shoulder internal rotations. So with this one, if you can, you're going to pop your hands behind your back. If you struggle to put the hands behind the back, then I want you to try and place the hands on the front of the hips with the elbows sticking out to the side. From there, what we're going to do, we're going to keep the hands flat on the back, keep the shoulders in line with the rest of the body, and just try and bring the elbows forwards just as much as you can, and then come back to the position we were in before. When we get to the back, I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and then bring them forwards, drop the elbows forwards, okay? Like I said before, if you can't get the hands behind your back, just try and do it with the hands on the hips just as much as you can. Back and forth, okay? We're gonna do 12 repetitions, and then we're gonna have a little break, and then we'll do 12 repetitions again, okay? So, hands behind your back if you can, and off we go. We're gonna drop those elbows forwards, keeping the body still, and then squeeze the shoulder blades back, and drop them forwards, and back. Just going as much as you can in a comfortable range of movement. It's not a very big movement, this one. Just a small movement from the shoulders, keeping the shoulders down, trying not to hunch them up. Go at your own pace and in your own comfortable range of movement. Okay, let's do 6 more. Nice and slow through the movement. Breathe in nice and steadily. That's great, and then relax from there. Okay, so we're gonna have 20 seconds of break, and then we'll come back for our next set. Okay, on to our second set of this exercise. So, like we said before, hands behind the back, and then we're just going to bring those shoulders forwards, bring the elbows forwards, and then rotate backwards. And then bring them forwards again, and round to the back. Remember, staying in that pain-free range of movement. And if it's too difficult like this, remember we've got our hands on the front, and we're just doing that movement again, just as much as we can, working up to 12 repetitions. Okay, 4 more. Squeeze the shoulder blades when we get to the back. That's great. And relax. Okay, that's that exercise done. We're going to take 20 seconds, have a quick drink if you need one, and then we will come back for the next exercise. Okay, for this next exercise, we're going to be doing something called a dead bug. I'm going to show you what that means. We're going to be down on the floor, so take your time getting to the floor. If you need to pause the video whilst you get there, then make sure you do. Okay, so we're going to be lying on the floor, on our backs. Now, if you want this to be a little bit more challenging, you can lift the knees into what we call a tabletop position, like so. If not, just leave the feet flat on the floor. And our arms are going to go up in the air, pointing up towards the ceiling. Now, nice and controlled, we're going to bring one arm down so that we just are a few centimeters off the floor, bring it back up and switch arms. Once we've done each arm, that would count as 1 repetition. We're going to do 10 in total. Off we go. Breathe in nice and slowly. Arm down. And the other one. That's 1 repetition. That's great. Nice slow breathing, nice and controlled, slow movements. Like I said, if you want to make it that little bit more difficult, then we would have our legs in the tabletop position. We're focusing only on the arm part of the dead bug exercise. That's great. And we'll go for 2 more on each arm. And once we get to 10, just relax from there. Okay, that's the end of our first set. We're going to have a 20-second break and then we will move on to our second set. Okay, back onto our second set. So we're going to reposition ourselves back on the floor. And like we said before, the legs can be on the feet on the floor or they can be up in our tabletop position, whichever you want to do. Arms up in the air, and we're going to go for 10 repetitions on each arm. Again, off we go. Nice and slow and controlled. Coming down to just a couple of centimetres away from the floor and back up. If you find that you can't get the arms that far down, that's absolutely fine. Just work within your comfortable range of movement. That's great, let's do 4 more on each arm. Nice and slow, keeping that breathing nice and steady. Okay, and 1 more on each arm. Very good. Okay, and relax from there, and then take your time to come up into a standing position. And that is the end of that exercise. So we're going to take another 20-second break, grab yourself a drink, and then we'll come back for the next one. Okay, our next exercise, we're going to be doing a stretch for this one. We're going to be stretching the muscles across the back of the shoulder and down the back of the arm. You can do this stretch either standing, sitting in a chair, kneeling down, however you feel most comfortable. I'm going to kneel down for this one, but like I said, you can do it in any position. So what we're going to do, we're going to go 1 arm at a time. We're going to do 15 seconds hold in each of these positions, and we're going to do them both 3 times through, okay? So let's start with our right arm. So you take the arm out in front of you. With the left hand, you're going to hold on just below the elbow, and you're going to very gently pull the arm across the body, just going as far as you can, staying within that comfortable sort of range of movement, feeling that gentle stretch, and we'll hold for 15, off we go. So breathing in nice and slowly. Like we said, it should just be a gentle stretch down the back of the shoulder and down the arm. If you're getting any pain, it might mean that we're just pulling a little bit too much, so just relax. Okay, and come down from there. So we're going to do the exact same stretch, just on the opposite arm this time. So left arm out, take the right hand, hold on just above the elbow, and gently pull the arm across as we stretch the back of the shoulder. Off we go. That's great. Trying to relax into this position if you can, whilst we get that gentle stretch. That's great. Okay, and relax from there. So this time, exactly the same thing. We're just going to swap back to the original side. So right arm out in front, take the left hand, hold just below the elbow and gently pull across, just going as far as you can. Off we go. Very good, being nice and gentle when we bring that arm across. Not pulling too hard with the opposite hand. Okay, and relax there. And over to the other side, okay? So left arm out this time, take the right hand, hold on just below the elbow, bring the arm across, and let's hold for 15. Nice slow breathing. Very good. And relax from there. Okay, one more on each side left. We're going to take the right arm forwards, hold on with the left hand just below the elbow, and let's pull across and let's hold for 15. That's great, and relax from there. Okay, last one now. So we're going to take the left arm out in front and pull across with the opposite hand, and let's hold for 15 seconds again. Trying to relax into this position as much as you can. Feel that gentle stretch down the back of the arm and down the back of the shoulder. Remember, if we're feeling any pain, just release slightly from the stretch. Very good. Okay, and let's get ourselves back into our standing position. That is the end of this exercise. So we're going to have 20 seconds before we go into the next one. So if you need a drink or anything like that, make sure you grab one and we'll move on to the next. Okay, so this exercise is called the T-hold, and we're going to do it in standing position. So what we have to do is stand with our feet shoulder width apart, arms down by our sides. We're going to lift the arms out to the side so that we're stood in a T position. And we're going to hold this position for 30 seconds. If you can't get to 90 degrees, don't worry, just go as far as you can. And if you feel like when we're doing 30 seconds, if you're getting any pain or discomfort before the 30 seconds, just stop at that point and then wait for us to start again, okay? So up into our T shape and off we go for 30 seconds. So squeezing the muscles at the top of the shoulders to keep those arms out to the side, keeping the elbows nice and straight. Doesn't matter what you're doing with your hands, you can have them flat, you can have them clenched, just relaxed, whichever. Nice, slow and steady breathing throughout, keeping those shoulders down, try not to hunch the shoulders. That's great. And relax from there. Okay, we're going to have a few seconds break between doing the next repetition. If you feel like you need a little bit longer, then make sure to pause the video here. And when you are ready to start again, just come back and we can go from there. But if not, then let's go for the second repetition. Okay, so arms out to the side and off we go for 30 seconds. Really focusing on your breathing in this one, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And focusing on keeping those shoulders down so we're not hunching. That's great, keeping the elbows nice and straight. Great, and come down from there. Brilliant. Okay, like we did before, we're going to take a few seconds break. If you need longer, make sure to pause and then come back when you're ready. If not, then let's get ready for the third repetition. Okay, arms out to the side and off we go. And like we said before, if you feel like when you're in this position that you start to get any pain or discomfort before we get to 30 seconds, just stop and wait for us to catch up on the video. Also, if you can't get to the 90 degrees into this T position, that's fine, just go as far as you can. Okay, 5 more seconds in this position. And then lower back down nice and slowly. Brilliant. Okay, that's the end of this exercise. So we're going to take a 20-second break, grab a drink if you need one, and then we will come back for the next exercise. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be doing something called active flexion. So we're going to start with our feet shoulder width apart. We're going to stay standing for this one. You can do it in sitting as well if that's more comfortable for you, but for me, I'm going to stay in standing. So we're going to start with the arms down by our sides, keeping the body nice and still. We're just going to lift the arms up in front of us, up as high as we can, squeeze the shoulders at the top, and then come back down. Okay, we're going to repeat this 12 times through, and then we will have a break, and then we'll do another set of 12, okay? So take your time with them, nice and slowly. We'll go all the way up and all the way back down, making sure that when we're doing this, our back is staying straight. Okay, we're not overextending at the top like this. We're staying nice and straight throughout. Squeeze the shoulders at the top. Up as high as we can. And back down. That's good. Don't worry about how high you can get your arms. Obviously, the goal is to get them to the top. But if at the moment you can't get that far, don't worry. Just go as far as you can, working in that pain-free range of movement. Okay, let's do 3 more. Squeeze in the arms up at the top. Okay, final one. Up to the top, squeeze those muscles, and then lower back down. Okay, brilliant. So we're going to have 20 seconds rest, and then we will come back to do this exercise again. Okay, back for set number 2. So still feet shoulder width apart if we're standing. Obviously if we're sitting, then that's not something to worry about. Arms are starting down by your side. And off we go, keeping them straight. Lift up as high as you can. Squeeze the shoulders. And then lower back down nice and slowly. And we'll go again. And back down. Okay, 10 more. All the way to the top and back down. Remembering to squeeze those shoulders up at the top. That's great. Trying to keep the shoulders down so we're not hunching them up like this, keeping them down. That's great. Nice and slowly and controlled. Okay, 5 more. Keeping that breathing nice and steady. 3 more. Squeeze those shoulders up at the top. Okay, once we get to 12, bring the arms down and relax. Okay, that's it for that exercise. So we're going to take a 20-second break. Grab yourself a drink of water if you need one, and then we will come back for the next exercise. Okay, for this exercise, we're going to be working through some different shoulder range of movements. So we're going to be doing a Y position, a W position, and a T position. I'll show you what all of those are before we start. When we do them, we're going to be holding them for 10 seconds each, and we're going to go through a few times, depending on how it feels when we're doing them, whether you need to stop after doing them a couple of times, or whether you want to go through to do a full 3 repetitions. So the Y position is the arms up like this, so not right up near our ears, and obviously not down to our side. We're sort of in between at that 45-degree angle. Then W position, we drop the elbows down and have the hands up by our head. And then for our T position, we straighten the elbows and come out to the side. Okay, so like I said, we're going to hold each one for 10 seconds. And then once we've done all 3 once through, we'll go straight back to the beginning and go again. If you feel like once we've been through the positions twice, you feel like that's enough for you at the moment, then feel free to stop at that point. If not, we'll work through 3 of each, okay? So up into our Y position to start, and off we go for 10 seconds. That's great, nice steady breathing in this one. If you can't get up to this position, don't worry, just try and go as far as you can, and then drop down into our W for 10 seconds. That's great, keeping the shoulder muscles squeezing, and into our T for 10. Off we go. That's great, and relax from there. Give the arms a little bit of a shake, give the shoulders a bit of a shake, and then we'll go straight into our next one, okay? So up into our Y position again, and off we go for 10. Nice steady breathing like we said, squeezing those shoulder muscles, keeping the back nice and flat. And then drop down into our W. Off we go for 10. That's great. And then out into our T position. Hold this one for 10. Off we go. Nice steady breathing, and relax from there. Okay, like I said before, if you feel like that's enough for you at the moment, then feel free to stop now and wait for the video to catch up. If not, we're going to go for a final one. Okay, up into our Y position, off we go for 10. That's great, and then we're going to drop down into our W position for 10. Nice steady breathing, squeezing those shoulder muscles. Great, and then out into our T position, straightening those elbows. That's great, and relax from there. Okay, well done. So that is the final exercise of today's class before we move into our cool down. So we're going to have 20 seconds rest. Grab yourself a bottle of water, and then we'll meet you back here for the cool down. Okay, let's get started with our cool down. So with the cool down, we're going to be focusing on bringing that heart rate back down, bringing our breathing rates back down, and sort of just relaxing the muscles after the class that you've done. So we're going to start off nice and easy with 30 seconds of deep breathing. So for the breathing, I'd really focus on breathing in through the nose and then breathing back out through the mouth. We're wanting those nice deep breaths. So when we are breathing in, try and think about sort of filling the rib cage, and then obviously releasing on the breath out. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So like I said, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And make sure, like we said, we're really trying to fill that rib cage with air when we're breathing in, and then breathing out nice and slowly. You might find that at the moment, because you've just finished the exercises, that it's a bit difficult to slow that breathing rate down, but just go at your own pace. Okay, fab. What we're going to go on to next, again, nice and easy, we're going to go on to some walking on the spots. So in the warm-up before, we were obviously trying to increase our heart rate with the marching and the jogging. This time we're trying to bring it back down. So we're going to go nice and slowly and just walk on the spot. Okay, for 30 seconds, off we go. That's great. So still swinging those arms like we were before, but obviously just in a bit more of a relaxed position on this one and going a little bit slower. That's great. That's halfway there. Five more seconds. Great. Okay, this time we're going to move on to doing some hip circles. So we did these in our warm-up before, but again, a bit like the walking, we're going to bring the pace down on this one. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and again, make the circles as small or as big as you can. And we're just going to go big circles with the hips, nice and slowly. We're going to do 30 seconds all together. Off we go. Bringing the pace down a little bit on this one, just moving through the full movement, nice and slowly. We can still concentrate on our breathing in these cool down exercises. So really trying to slow that breathing down. 10 more seconds. Great, okay. For the next movement, we're going to be going down to the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to hold on to something, then do that. Nice and carefully onto the floor. And we're going to have the feet out in front, legs nice and straight. I want you to try and keep the knees as straight as possible with this one. And then we're going to rest the hands on front of the thighs. From here, we're just going to slide down the legs just as far as you can. And we want to grip on to our legs as close as we can to our ankles, and we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay, so moving down just as far as you can, and then let's hold for 30 seconds. Off we go. Still focusing on that breathing when we're doing this movement, so breathing nice and slowly in and out, and we should feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of the legs. Okay, we're halfway there. 10 seconds left. And 5 seconds. Okay, and sit back up into that relaxed position. We're going to get ourselves back up into a standing position, but again, take your time. If you need to hold on to something to help you get up, then that's absolutely fine. Okie doke. Once we're up then, for the next movement, we're going to be doing some stretches, mobility work for the middle back. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. The hands this time are going to come up behind the head. And we're going to be doing 4 different movements. So we're going to be coming down into a forward position, back up and into a slightly extended position. Then we're also going to do some flexion to the side, back up into a middle position and over to the side. Okay, we might add in a little bit of rotation too, just to stretch a few extra muscles. We're going to go for 30 seconds. I want you to go at your own pace and we're just going to move through all those different movements, just making sure that we're stretching all the right muscles. Okay, off we go all together. So coming forwards, back up into that slightly extended position, and back down, over to the sides, and then rotating. That's great. And again, we're going to move slightly forwards and up and slightly back. Then we're going to lean to the sides. And again, we might go slightly over 30 seconds, but we want to get all those movements back in. And the final rotation. Okay, and then bring the arms back down into our neutral position. We're going to finish off by doing 30 seconds of our deep breathing again. So we're going to go in through the nose out through the mouth. Make sure we're trying to fill that rib cage with air and then release. Okay, off we go. So hopefully this breathing will be sort of easier now. Hopefully you'll be breathing that a little bit slower. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, really trying to fill that rib cage with air. Down. Brilliant. Okay, well done everyone. So thank you for attending our exercise class today. We hope you've enjoyed it and we hope to see you very soon on our next session. Thank you.